Formula 1 returns to Russia for round 7 of the 2019 season. The track which over the years has been dominated in this V6 hybrid era since we've been coming here in 2014 by Josh Tiro and BMW Williams. Although Tiro isn't part of the British squad anymore, Williams will be looking to continue their dominance here with 3 wins over the years that we've been coming here, which annoyingly for the crowd and Daniel Kvyat has denied the home favourite victory on 2 occasions in 2016 and the previous race out last time in 2018 where Williams took a 1-2 when Daniel Kvyat was leading the race late in the race as well. Also Charles Leclerc led here in the Alfa Romeo Sauber for last year as well, so could the midfield be in for another good showing? Of course, home favourite Daniel Kvyat was out early, putting in many laps in all 3 practice sessions to please the home crowd and hopefully try and get his first win of the season, and also with his new team Mercedes, since he came close with Red Bull before, which is in theory an inferior car. Also, despite half the season only being done, actually only a third of it, there are already rumours yet circulating about who Hamilton's teammate is going to be for next season, with rumours circulating that it could be Matsushita who makes the move from McLaren to replace Kobayashi. And also with Josh Tiro's expertise around the circuit, taking 3 victories over the 5 years he's been coming here so far, Alfa Romeo will be hoping on his expertise once again to keep them with a good result and keep them in the best of the rest position in the championship. Williams also were looking to continue their good run of form around the circuit, also with the 3 wins that Tiro scored from them. And early signs look to be promising for Kubica and Mick Schumacher, with both drivers dominating the timesheets in all 3 practice sessions and also on short and long run pace. However, practice 3 will bring a bit of controversy for Josh Tiro, as Herta would get caught up with him and hit into wall, seriously damaging the suspension of his car. Herta would also receive a 5-place penalty for being deemed responsible there for the collision. This would make an all-Haas back row of the grid, with Lance lining up slowest in qualifying, and Carl Herta demoted 5 places from 14th down into P19. Josh Tiro, with a still not 100% car, starts from 18th place despite what the graphic says. It's also Jean-Eric Vergne with a poor lap as well, starting on the 9th row. Sebastian Vettel though would have some major car issues once again, and get knocked out in Q1 starting from P16, with Rio Haryanto slowest of the drivers got thrown to Q2. His teammate Matsushita wouldn't go much further, landing in 14th and shares row 7 with Nico Hülkenberg in the Renault. A good qualifying session from both the Toro Rosso see them lock out row 6, with Alex Albon and Mika Kari both starting from inside the points places and with a free choice of tyres. Kobayashi lines up in 10th place with a good qualifying and much needed lap from Giovinazzi start from P9 in the Alfa Romeo. Pierre Gasly starts from 8th place, alongside George Russell, who starts 1 place lower down than what he normally does so far this season, starting from 7th. Max Verstappen starts directly in front of his teammate, alongside his teammate from last season and 2017, Daniel Kvyat in the Mercedes. Charles Leclerc with a good lap starts from P4 in the Ferrari, and Hamilton will maximise his straight line speed of his Toyota car to start from P3. However though, practice times would carry over, maybe your Williams front row, Rory Kubica second and Mick Schumacher taking pole position. Hey guys, Tara here. Welcome back to the UniONE career, this time for round 7, the Russian Grand Prix, a track which over the seasons has usually been a good track for Williams, even without me driving for them now. So, with another front row lockout, I think that's actually the first, or is it this actually? They've got one at Bahrain as well, so the power track's definitely working well for Renault. But Jean-Eric Vergne starting in P17, he's got quite a bit of work on his hands if he's to get some points from this race, and Pierre Gasly in 8th as well, starting directly behind his teammate, so he's got a good view of the cars he needs to pass, because his teammate's probably going to be doing that as well. And going then onto the formation lap, just making sure everyone gets away cleanly, make sure there's no issues, because despite you can't exactly really stall these cars, there still could be issues, but it looks like everyone's getting away, and also Seb Vettel down in P16 has got a lot of work to do. But Mick Schumacher though starting on pole position, best place to go for another win. Also you've got his teammate Ray Gunn as well, his teammate there Robert Kubica riding behind as well with a good qualifying, so Williams with definite genuine pace in this race. Also then you've got Danny Kvyat starting a bit further down the order than what he's accustomed to in P5. He's been denied by the Williams 2 times before then for winning this race, so can he finally get his first win here on home soil. Also what about ourselves? Actually knows our teammate Giovinazzi there from P9. And he's got to put the weight on, with especially with us qualifying in 18th place. So Gio, you need to pull your finger out here and get some points in this race. You got to fly the flag for Alfa Romeo. so Sebastian Vettel, so far down the order. More car issues in this a session. And when is this guy actually just going to get some luck? It is unreal how poor his season's been, and it's none of it's his own doing. And then we're starting then from P18, which is the best we could do, honestly, with a still not entirely fixed car from the end of third practice. And even on my second lap in Q1, I found half a second, but it still wasn't enough to get me off the back row of the grid. Although they're coming to the 5 red lights for start of the Russian Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go. And it looks like a pretty even start there from everyone up in front. Actually, one of the Taurus there pulls out, so they're making a good start. As well, actually, we've got a pretty poor one once again. And actually, now we're actually going to have taken them. One of the Hasses started a harder tie as well, so that's definitely not a good start for us. So we've got like 4-5 wide even on the run down to turn 1, and the Williams there dying across the track. A bit of contact there, a bit of carbon fiber flying off someone's front wing, so they're going to be going probably a bit slow now with maybe even just half a front wing just left on their car. And all of that. I'm now down in last place, and I just chose honestly just to back out of the corner. You know how mental pack racing is. And at this early stage, I don't need to be in that pack yet. I'm going to let everything settle out first, because honestly, just me still being in the race. We see there, we get a good run though on the Haas, both going over to the inside line, going to get very, very aggressive in the side. Actually, Haas actually going to squeeze out around the outside line of their teammates as they turn from a defensive move into an offensive one. Now going to keep side between the two white cars. You know which one's there on the outside line. I think it's Houter on the outside. We're then 17 let's go. We're just dying around behind both of them, looking for a gap possibly, but nothing's quite opening up just yet. As Houter and Stroll still keeping it side by side. Now then, we're still just darting around looking for any opportunity we can find to try and get past one of them. But that opportunity, looking at, but no, we're going to be straight speed. Both these cars are exactly the same, so there's not going to be a difference here in straight line speed. Looks like those Stroll's got a pretty good run. Actually, they're going to make it 3 wide now, coming down now into the turn. Is this turn 15? I think it is. They're going to force the Haas out wide. They're going to dive for under braking and almost make contact with the Haas. It's in a major to been a wing to a wheel contact there. But somehow they just about managed to get away with all of that. And out of all of that, I was still in dead last place. Those Hasses going at it like their lives depend on it, like it's the championship battle, and they're both going for it as well. So yeah, I mean they are both going for it for each other, but they're racing like this is the championship battle. And Mick Schumacher puts up the fast lap of the race, which is no surprise because he's the one leading the race and taking out the bollard at least. So this isn't getting damage from that. Now it's a whole block in the final corner for me anyway. And they're going to be in the switching actually. You've got moves going up further in front though. You've got one of the McLarens there going for a move on one of the Renaults because these two got the exact same engine, so there should be no difference here straight line speed. But now they've got the McLaren there of Master Chief actually making a nice sweep move there around the outside line of the Renault, then gets a little bit out of shape. And now then he's got the other Renault then of John-Eric Werner right behind Hulkenberg, and Hulkenberg looks to be struggling a little bit, so maybe it was his front wing that actually came off we saw on lap 1. And actually, yeah, it is. I'm seeing the end plate missing there, so Hulk with damage early on in this race. And he's going to move to the inside line. Is he going to let his teammate Verne pass? No, he's not. So Hulk, in spite of damage, he's not giving the And now then, I can really use this to my advantage, you know, because you've got everyone here battling up front to try and get past Hulk. I could actually try and get myself here into a position to try and pick off a few of these cars up in front. You can see how much time we're all just losing here behind Hulkenberg, going so slowly. That front wing damage. I mean, it depends where your damage is. The end plate on the air is going to be done for that, but a little bit of damage, it's not. You can get away with a little bit. Of course, still no DRS yet. That won't be activated until the next lap. Looks like the Renaults in front now going side by side to try and pass each other. I'm sure Hulkenberg there didn't put up any fight at all to his teammate. Look at that, we're 5.5 seconds up on our best lap so far through the middle sector. That just shows how slow we all go on the start when we all find position in that as well. Also, from the starting tyre graphic, the Hasses are the only two starting on a harder compound of tyres. I mean, they're on the back row of the grid. They might as well. Because they make Schumacher was a fast lap, which then changed to Charles Leclerc. So Leclerc putting on a good early push. We know that Ferrari, when it's actually working correctly, actually has some pretty good straight line speed in it anyway. Maybe it doesn't have the overall car pace. I mean, Leclerc won the first race of the season, so as we're 6 seconds up on our best lap already, and that is some time improvement, that is. And once again, you've got side by side there up in front. So is this Massive Shooter or is that Harry Anto making a move? Either way, it's one of the McLarens making a move then on the stricken Renault there of Hulkenberg. We almost creamed into the rear then of Colton Herter. Falslow's going into the brake zone, so don't behind the back here, then off the Renault through the sweeping turn 3. Not really gaining too much then, so despite having damage, the downforce on that Renault, so actually right, because the side is on, it affects the opposite corner. Actually got the Hasses there going side by side, going defensive. Now into the corner, the Hasses actually going to go side by side now through the corner, so once again they're just finding a way just to annoy each other whilst trying to catch Hulkenberg. So either way, once again, these two have been very opportunistic, and once again, it's Colin Herter that just manages to keep himself in front there of his teammate there just about, anyway, for the time being. We're finding right outside there. Stroll though, actually having a little bit of contact there with the Canadians, so managed to catch on this. This was my plan all along, really, just to try and find a way that I could just sneak past someone. And then you've got Colin Hurley now, and with the DRS though on the back of Hulkenberg, and this should be a pretty easy move for the American. How much of the fight's Hulk going to put up? He's going to go around the outside line, which is intended inside there into the braking zone. He's going to keep it side by side still with the German, and Hulk just backs out that completely. He knows he's basically done for with that. And now then, we're the ones that now behind the German. And hopefully, hopefully about it. We need to make a quick move on Hulkenberg through here. We get a good run here through that chicane. And Hulkenberg still going for it. He's going a little bit defensive there to the inside line. We come now then into the corner, goes solo on the break and give for a dive inside line. Hulkenberg can keep himself. Just about going to squeeze him out though. With that infield, that was a crucial move we could not afford. He goes so early on the brakes as well because he went where he normally would. He just unsteering into a leaving completely off the circuit. That has allowed him to pull away a little bit. But now then, into we actually got this bit of fighting there going on behind. So going now then into the braking zone for turn 1. We just managed to get around there and actually finding a pretty good line around there. And Hulkenberg actually also managed to keep himself in front of Lance Stroll to Stroll. So he's going to be getting pretty annoyed now under that helmet that he couldn't get past the rim. He has some pretty good trail speed. We've already seen that so far this season. And then catching right to the back then of Colin Herter. Actually right to the back of one of the cars in front of him. So whoever that car is in front is going so slowly as well. So if they go from a damage, maybe the tyre go off. Only lap 4. Tyre around the circuit is not actually that high, so I wouldn't think that they tyres are going off already. Whichever car that is in front here of the American. And then they're going defensive to the inside line now. They're just costing themselves so much time. And then actually going side by side. Actually, I think that's our teammate Giovinazzi. Now they got Heather right up down the back. I mean, indeed it is Gio. Gio, you started in P9, and why are you down here in like 17th? But then we get a good one there with Colin Herter. We're catching up and they're going to box him in now behind Gio. We're going to get Association though. We're actually going to make it now 3 wide now into the corner. Gio defends a bit to the inside line. We give it 3 wide to Colin's contact with sideways at 200 miles an hour. And straight somehow we actually managed to keep it going. We made the move on Giovinazzi. We were sideways, we slanted into the wall, and now we're still going. And I've got no damage on my car whatsoever. And I think Gio's not got any damage either. From the looks of it, I'm seeing all of his front wing still there. So I think we've just had the luckiest escape ever. Nothing that has ever happened or will ever happen again will be as lucky as that. But now then, looking at a replay of what just happened there, is on board then from Gio's perspective, looking from his rear wing. We're going to start outside then with Colin Herter. We're going to side drafting along. We go one side, we pretty much going to sandwich Gio there through the middle, go into the corner, make a little bit of contact with him, and look at that. We think Gio gets squeezed against the wall, but somehow out of all of that, we both made the corner, I made the overtake, and neither of us get any damage whatsoever. I've genuinely no idea how the hell we pulled that off. But no, this is looking now from my perspective. You're going to run outside the line, so from what I would have seen. So moving back over, but just not clear Gio. And look at that, so close to being just face first into the wall. We managed to somehow, once again, I'm going to keep saying it, we make the corner. We only just missed apex. Imagine judging your braking zone whilst completely sideways is not in my agenda for being a racing driver. And now from Hert's perspective, we get something like there, we sandwich Gio, and he's going to slow it down here. Now we can get slow-mo. Yes, I tried to come across, but Gio there just keeps the line straight. He didn't try to move back over once again, back onto the racing line. And just look at that contact. Did we shove Gio into the wall? And I think he just maybe he rubs it a little bit, but I think he just about gets away with it. And then from Gio's rear wing, actually that's mine, a nice slide. And look at this, it gets so actually don't get as close to Herter as I thought I did. We missed apex only just though, and that has to be honestly might even be that's definitely the best overtake I've ever done in the worst way. Only there's a slow-mo here for the contact, and once again I cannot believe that we're squeezing him against the wall. I'm pretty sure Gio just avoids the wall, but then he also manages to nudge me straight again. Honestly, I would never know how we actually got away with that. Now then, we're on to lap 5. We're still behind Colin Herter, and now we've got Stroll behind us, so he's managed to make a move on Giovinazzi. Unfortunately, I think Gio is just dropping like a stone a little bit, so maybe it's his turn to have some kind of Ferrari power issues once again. That wouldn't be uncommon. The Ferrari engine should not be working properly. Now, 1.5 seconds up on our best lap. We're finding some serious time now, so the Colin Herter's actually got some pretty good pace in that car still as well. Then they've got Dios there on the back of the American. They're going to go to the inside line. Going to squeeze away there on the inside line. Off Colin Herter under braking. They're going to actually make the move stop for the car. Yes, we do. And we just about managed to squeeze him out there. So, yeah, we managed to make a conventional overtake there on the American. And I'm definitely happy about that. And we get a good run though through here. This corner though, that's one of my favourite corners in F1 actually. It's such a nice corner. A nice sweepy one as well. And you've seen that from the F2 race from last week. You can make moves quite a lot around the outside line there, even in F2 cars, so it's a really rewarding corner to get right. Moving a bit further on, looking a little bit farther up front, and you've got the Toyota here then of Kamui Kobayashi. He's going to have the DRS now on the back of the Ferrari in front of him, which is probably Sebastian Vettel, who's close up fighting for the lead. That is some amazing trying to speed in that Ferrari, and also for that Toyota as well. Now you've got the move here, is this... It's Daniel Kvyat making a move on the inside line of someone, which I couldn't quite see who it was. It looks like one with the Red Bull, so either way, I don't know, still don't know which one it is, but the Red Bulls can try and hold it around the outside line, we just get squeezed out, so to show that the Red Bulls still lacking that downforce, and Vettel though, has been overtaken then by the Toyota then of Kamui Kobayashi, actually just showing that brilliant trying speed in that car. And actually then the Red Bull here of Pierre Gasly has been overtaken then by Danny Kvyat. Kvyat actually looks like he's dropped back a bit from the start, since if he's battling here with Vettel and Kobayashi, who started well, Vettel, we know, started way down the order. He actually had a really good fight back so far to go up into a familiar territory, back with the Mercs, Toyotas, Red Bulls, battling the cars he should be against anyway. But Vettel, you think he's going to try and make a move back on that Toyota, because they are fairly evenly matched cars. And Gasly also, he's going to have DRS to try and go back at Kvyat, but Kvyat though also has DRS on the back of Sebastian Vettel in front of him, and it looks like Kvyat actually even pulling away as well. When Vettel around the outside line, which then to the inside into the braking zone. Going to keep side by side still with Kamui Kobayashi, and trying to squeeze him out there into the corner. Going to keep side by Kobayashi, that still keeps his nose in. Vettel's going to have to go the long way here around the outside line. He managed to move there. A nice move there, nice re-overtake there from the 5-time champion. So even with his car laying him down, he's driving prowess definitely is still top notch. And I'm moving a bit further on now, looking at the up front back now with the other 4 of these cars. You've got the Williams here of Robbie Kubica gaining on the back of the other Toyota, which has to be Lewis Hamilton. Not quite sure what place this is for though. I doubt he's going to lead the race. It's probably for P3. Kubica can try and get around the outside line then of Lewis Hamilton. And then keep it side by side still here around the outside line. You're going to get pull yourself there a little bit in front. But then Hamilton in the Toyota can try and hold you around the outside line. You're going to try and sweep it around. And just about managed to keep it side by side there, keeps his nose in. And I could now into turn 4, going to go for a dive on the inside line of Robbie Kubica. He just manages to force out the pulse again. Very aggressive there, getting very argy-bargy as well. Especially with Hamilton coming off the back of 2 recent wins at Azerbaijan, and then the race before that, Singapore. No, either way, it was the other way around from that, but either way, still, he's won the last 2 races, so you'd think that he'd be in solid form once again, and he started from P3, so the pace is definitely there in that Toyota car. But the Williams definitely on a track where they can fight more conventionally, because the high downforce stuff doesn't really suit their car, their philosophy, which it never really has since, like, ever really. At least in this, not in this modern era anyway. With the DRS speed, it's definitely a lot further back this time though from Lewis Hamilton. He's gaining in the DRS still, but he's not going to be gaining enough though into the braking zone, and that's going to wait a little bit longer there to try and probably try and make another repass. Moving a bit further on now onto the pit stop phase now, and I'm pretty sure he was still in the lead of the race. Either way, first or second, Mick Schumacher makes his one and only stop, unless he gets a puncture or something, onto a set of the medium tyres, which will take him to the end of the race unless you get a safety car, which is very unlikely since the safety car doesn't seem to exist anymore. Although it still does, it just never leaves the pit lane. So Bert Martin has not had the actual quick on track, and actually got a bit of traffic here. They go side with one of the Torossos there of Nico Kari trying to make a move on Rio Haryanto, I think that is, or the other way around. Either way, the Haryanto gets himself in front or stays in front of the Toro Rosso. And once again, Schumacher has just come out right behind us now and trying to get around the hell. I'm going to block him into the corner. I'm not giving up this mission easy so far. You know, I'm going to fight him hard, like because he's the one to start this rivalry between us, but still going to squeeze him up to the inside line, but still going to give him the space. He's going to go for a dive inside line, almost wiping himself out on the back there of the Toro Rosso. That could not have been any closer. So, I mean, he's definitely calmed down a little bit. From that angle, it looked like he probably went through the back of it, but it probably wasn't quite as close there as he looked. But he would definitely want to get any closer. And that time, he hasn't got any front wing damage, unlike from when he barged us out of the way back at the Australian Grand Prix. Now then, Toro Rosso Honda versus Williams BMW. This is going to be no contest whatsoever. Let's look at that. They didn't even need the DRS. He's just going to blast past it anyway. Even without the DRS, he'd probably still make this move. Although Corey though is not going to go up without a fight, but his car just hasn't got the speed for that in that Honda engine compared to the Bimmer engine in the back of that Williams. And then next up for Schumacher to get past is then going to be that McLaren Renault. And the Renault engines are not bad, but it's still not up to scratch yet with the BMW engines, the Toyotas, or the Ferraris and that. And actually the McLaren there pulls into the pit, so there's Toro Rosso, and so do we as well. Because once again we had Charles Leclerc right behind us. Once again, Schumi and Leclerc, we just can't get away with them after they make their first stops. I mean, no matter what I want, I mean like Bahrain and that, Australia, no matter after they make their first pit stops, they're always somewhere near us, so that just shows the pace gap. You see pretty much the same so far through this first third of the season. But then we're right to be on the back though of the Taurus, so if we can get a good pit stop here from Alpha, we might be able to jump the Finn. That's a good pit stop there. I think we get held there a little bit. It's not the quickest release in the world. And look at that Taurus, it just comes out in front of us. That is so close. Although we are actually closer to Kari than when we entered the pit lane, so that's actually a sign. So we gained a little bit of time. That little bit of time that could be critical, and especially in Formula 1. Every little bit of time that you can gain could be the difference between winning or not, or gaining the position or not. We're going go for a dive with the inside line though. We're catching napping, then you can start with the Finn, go for a bit of a crossover line. We just managed to keep it through there. But as Kari there moved back onto the racing line, we went for the dive back of the inside line. I mean, we didn't cross the pit lane exit line because either way, we're already past it, so they're back on the racetrack so you can make moves. And Kari though, he's not going to take that one line down. I'm sure that we've seen how much fight there is in this guy from back at the Japanese Grand Prix, where we had quite the close battle, to say the least. To put it one way anyway. Kari though still keeping with us, so with good speed though, in the of course with our Alfa Romeo car. It always takes a few laps to get for the side to get up to temperature anyway. And that puts us down now in P17, and that's not legitimate because we've still got the two Hasses to pit and probably a few others as well, so we're probably somewhere around 14th or 15th. So either way, we're still not in the points, so we're still not where we need to be, but it's not as bad as it currently looks. We're running also in Rich Mix, just to try and pull away from that Taurus, because the Taurus does have DRS, but the Ferrari engine just turned up to the max. One of the things actually working is actually especially with our Alfa Romeo car. Of course, with the lower down order cars, they're going to be a lower drag anyway, so just got the good straight line of speed. Now moving further on, we've got Shimmy still leading the race. He's actually pulled a little bit of a gap though from Charles Leclerc since the pit stop, so on these medium tyres, that Williams definitely looks to be doing a little bit better than what the Ferrari is. And then we've got Hamilton there, currently in P3, in a little bit of a no man's land ahead then of Max Verstappen, then in the Rebels, somehow managing himself a little bit up there into a brilliant P4. Although he's going to have Robbie Kubica there right up behind him. And now into the corner, he's going to get a move. No, he's not quite something to make a move. Kubica there. He's had some pretty good pace so far in this race. I mean, he started on the front row Williams lockout, so yeah, the pace is definitely there in that Williams. It just works so well around the track. I mean, honestly, this track just suits the characteristics of that car. Medium speed corners, they can do them with the car, and also the high speed stuff as well. It's just where the car definitely excels. Max Verstappen though in that Red Bull, I have no idea how he's got himself this high up the order. I mean, or maintain the high position, since this track should be everything that Red Bull car's not particularly good at. But then now Kubica though, another DRS there on the back of Verstappen. Just look at that, he's going to breeze past the Dutchman, basically like he shouldn't even be there. Because that was just I'm sure Kubica broke a sweat there trying to make a move. And then we have Colin Herter in the Haas, who's still yet to actually make his stops. The Haas is, they're probably going to drop out back behind us, especially with the effective undercut that we're getting, although they'll have faster tyres to come back later in the race. And then we have the lead of the Mercedes, which is actually quite some way down the order, and he's actually George Russell, who at some points in this race has managed to 1, overtake Daniel Kvyat, and 2, actually get on the screen, because the Mercedes have been nowhere in this race. We've got Kobayashi, he's actually splitting them, and Kvyat's way down the order. What's this, like 7th or 8th, if you think about it legit, if you take Herter out of the equation. He's still ahead though of Gasly, and that's not changed from the start really. And then we've got the other Haas there of Stroll, who's defending from his life from the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel, who started about 4 places in front of him. And somehow he's now coming up to overtake him again. And when he's already in front of him in position because he's already stopped and Stroll hasn't. And Stroll once again defending like his life depends on it. Just trying to frustrate the cars. So just trying to show, because Stroll's always been great at defence, but he hasn't had the best. Well, I mean, the Haas car, it's a bit of an unusual car. They can't really seem to get the race pace out of it. But still going to be 3-1 once again. Is this going to end in contact with either of them? No, it's not. And Massachusetts there managed to make the move on Stroll. So Stroll's just lost 2 spaces down the straight, but he's going to be picked. So anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. And then we have the other McLaren then of Rio Haryanto. He made his stop along with all the besides the Hasses have made our stops. And then we have Jean-Eric Verne, who's somehow managed to he's in front of us, but I think he's fell down the order a little bit. I also want to say they have hard tyres as well, so maybe ran out of medium tyres, or they weren't too confident about their tyre wear predicament. And then we have the lead of the Taurus, which Nico Kari's now made his stop ahead then of his teammate then Alex Albon, who's really just in the no man's land of his own. And then we have Gio way down the order, so either he's got some kind of mechanical problem or he did get some damage that we can't see from that contact, but then again, you're going so slow anyway, so I'm pretty sure something is wrong with this car anyway. Now then, on to lap 17, we're now catching on to the back then of the Frenchman. And then we've got now Kari's not a threat behind, so this is the fight for 13th place, so the fight's not even being the points yet. So you've still got a little bit of a charge to make that happen, although once it's on the minimap, the gold dots in the penalty, so this will just elevate us on one place, so I'll put Vern up into 30th, and I'll put Harry Anto, the McLaren in front of Vern, up there into P12. So honestly, this is the most critical fight right now. We're going to get in the Richmond spot. I need to make a move here on this Renault. We're going to try and sleep it around the outside line. Circle, going to get a slide draft the Renault. We're going to make the move there, stick on him. We're pull past him, going to go to the inside line. They're going to try and dive back on the inside line and go late on the brakes. We're just going to sweep it there around the outside line. We just managed to keep from there. I think Van Orpey kind of went back to us, but we're both champions in the sport, so we're both definitely not going to try and take each other out, or at least not intentionally anyway. That Renault though sticking to the back of us like glue. Because though we've got the straight line speed on the Renault, they've definitely got the downforce and they're pretty good on the brakes as well, it seems. Well, look at that, you get that good traction. So basically, in everything besides straight line speed, that Renault is better than us. And we're both world champions as well, 2016 for me, 2017 for Van, so it's through the drivers, there's not going to be too much really between us. Although, Van might actually just want to stick behind me here, because we lose a little bit of time through the corners. Although you're playing a little bit there because Van's going to be getting the dirt, and overheating his car and tyres and that. And now then, up to lap 21. It's taken a few laps. Now the sun's finally coming out as well, so it's there. There's no chance of rain. It definitely doesn't look now with the clouds there disappearing. Now coming on the back of Harry Anto. So it's took a few laps to actually catch up to the Indonesian. Because now then, our car's definitely been fixed now anyway, so it's just about eking out the pace, because you allow anything 1 or 2 times through the year where you're allowed to work past curfew, and especially it's definitely to fix our car so it's not in a dangerous state. So yeah, that was one of our times he stopped now. We definitely didn't want to get to the back of the car, because we thought we could definitely get a good result here. And I'm going to try and go around the outside of Harry and try and make the same that we did on there. We're going to see around the outside line. We're going to go where I'm going to give Harry into loads of space, because hopefully he doesn't try and take me out like he did back at Italy last year when I was actually lapping him. I know I keep mentioning that, but I mean, ultimately, that had no impact on Alonso winning the championship, but it took out a load of points, and you never know what's going to happen, because we got Alonso's lead down to like 5 or 6 points at one stage, and if you take all the points that I lost, that's 8 points or so, that then would have put me in the lead of the driver standings, and would have given the extra motivation for me, really. But now then, actually, we've got a Ferrari there right up in front of us. And that's the Ferrari then Sebastian Vettel. Vettel at one point was up fighting the Kvyat Gasly and all that, so I'm not quite sure what's happened to Sebastian Vettel. It's made another pit stop. Surely he wasn't that far in front of us. Or is once again, is Sebastian Vettel having some kind of mare with that Ferrari car of his? I mean, can this guy just actually genuinely just have some luck in this season? But now we've got Harriet still getting it back, because with that DRS, that McLaren is no slouch in a straight line. They've definitely worked out the issues from last season. We've seen that McLaren's actually probably the 6th best car outright, but they've just not quite got the consistency to go with it. We run about on the curbing, so Harrington's going to get us once again. Going to be on the curbs, going to get low on the brakes, so they're going to be missing the apex there, so definitely feeling the pressure there from the Indonesian, because they want to get a bit wary of what we know you can do, because if he's crashed into us once before, who's to say he's not going to do it again? And well, this race right now, around this next corner, well, it's not going to be here, but down this straight, that could be the end of the race. I could be sailing down to the barriers. Honestly, though, they're going to go to the DRS zone here. I think we've already passed it now, so we have DRS open now, coming down the start finish straight here. And I think I can go to the inside line. I'm going to give him the inside line, because honestly, I can try and get sweeping line 3, but now I'm going to go late on the brakes and try and sweep it there around the outside line. I'm trying to do what I want to do. Actually, I managed to make it stick there. I'm still going to keep it started with the Indonesian, but he just managed to get the traction out of the corner. And McLaren, which is, like I said, it's a better car overall, so it's definitely going to get the traction out of the corner, just over us, but now we're trying to stick behind the back of him here like glue. Going out a little bit wider, just pushing to the limits now, use up our warnings before we get the penalty, so basically you get free, basically it's like free like corner cut and track limit tokens. You get a few, then you get your warnings, so I think you get 2, so using 1 over there, so try and keep the back here. All the this is the fight for 12th place, this fight for 1 point, and since we're back at the other end of the grid now, that 1 point is absolutely critical, probably more than being in a championship fight up in the front. But, well, no matter where, every point matters, but when you're racing in the pack, and we're racing over the scraps of the points anyway, and we've really dropped their Jean-Eric Verne, because those hard tyres really aren't working there for the Frenchman, so I don't think Renault are going to be getting any points in this race unless something drastic happens up in front. Well, if Vettel keeps dropping like he is, then you never know. Once again, Verne and Vettel could have another battle on track. I mean, they had one at Azerbaijan as well. Might have had one at Singapore, but I don't remember seeing anything like that. Apparently, though, he's genuinely really catching up to the back of that Ferrari, and he's pulling me along with him, because that McLaren has got the speed over us through the corners, because, well, like I said, it's a better car overall. But we've just got the straight line speed. And straight line speed, that is my friend. I like having a car with straight line speed if it's not the fastest thing through the corner. Because I'd rather have a car with easy overtakes instead of being able to keep someone but then not being able to do anything about it. And having it right on the gearbox now then. Oh, Sebastian Vettel having to go defensive into turn 1, feeling the presence there of the Indonesian. And what has happened to Sebastian Vettel? That car is so slow in straight line. So once again, either he's got some kind of battery issue maybe he's missing a gear, maybe a gearbox issue. I think that's what happened to him at Australia, some kind of gearbox issue. Then in China, had to retire because he lost all gears except first or second. And then through the end of the first sector, we're only 10th down because now we've only just caught onto the back there of this battle. And it's still, the battle is now between Verne and all that. Well, if we can keep the gap, if Vettel can go this slowly, the cars behind us are just going to slowly start catching us up. Well, I say slowly, rather quickly, so I can go to this slow train of cars. But now then, Haryanto is going to have the DRS there once again on the back of Sebastian Vettel, and down this straight here, we will definitely see if that car is ailing in terms of straight line speed. Now then, Haryanto then with the DRS though on the back of the 5-time champion. Is he going to be able to? Is he close enough to try and make a move on Sebastian Vettel? He can cut down the straight. He can try and make a move to the outside line. Vettel they've just got enough, so maybe running a few extra. So there's definitely something is definitely plaguing that car because that Ferrari. We saw Charles Leclerc battling up front, possibly even for the lead. I think at some point set the fastest lap as well. So there's genuine pace in that Ferrari car. There's genuine pace in the other Ferrari. So these cars are both the same. So they definitely have the pace. And something once again for what's that the 5th time this season for both the Ferraris combined. Something is just ailing those cars. And in nearly every race they've had some kind of technical problem so far, and that is just horrific unreliability, if not a complete failure in terms of unreliability. Now we managed to get the good solution now. Paul Salvas with Haryanto actually going to go 3-1 now with Sebastian Vettel now down into someone going to try and keep it 3-1. This is not going to work out surely. And now Vettel gets squeezed Haryanto off the road, but he keeps his foot in. Nikita Salvas, the issues, might want to have a look at that. And now then around turn 3, he's still going to keep it 3 wide there. And Vettel then just about keeping his nose in, using that good downforce on that Friday to keep himself side by side, still into turn 4. Still Salvas having a bit of a lock up there from Haryanto. So Nikita Salvas actually now they make contact there, Sebastian Vettel and really Haryanto, but it doesn't look like any damage was done. Maybe a little bit of floor damage there to the McLaren, but I didn't see any front wing come off the side there of that Ferrari. So all of that, we managed to clear both of them, so that's a double overtake about 4 corners later than I wanted to do it. But Haryanto still going to try to take around the line, but Vettel there getting very, very argy-bargy, just managed to squeeze out the Indonesian. But all this fight over what is this 1 point? Yes, actually it's 2 points for us now. Yeah, coming to P11 because we've got past Sebastian Vettel. And we've got Matthew Sheeters right in front of us in what is his final race. For now, anyway, until the final race in Brazil when you return for McLaren. And behind us now we've got Sebastian Vettel, who's now going to be pulling up. Well, now we're pulling him along. Look at that good speed that he's gaining. So something is definitely. Well, maybe actually his car's probably fixed now. Actually, we saw how much he's gaining on us. So maybe it was just kind of battery issue, just trying to recharge the battery to maybe run out of ERS or something. Because if you leave the battery pack, that's like 100 and something horsepower. So a pretty decently fast like 3-door tracker now. You could definitely. 100 something horsepower, probably like 150 or something like that. That is definitely enough to get from A to B quick enough. And then, actually, yeah, I'm 2.3 seconds down because we lost so much time battling on that. And that's like I said, that's just allowing other cars then to go into play. Look at the mini map, there's a car there behind Haryanto now as well. He's just bringing the other cars into play completely. And Vettel with the DRS, he's not getting a whole lot on us though. The good showing speed of our cars, especially in Richmond as well. And using the DRS, using up the engine mode, using up the fuel though, because we only got. Well, this lap and 1 more to go, so just under 2 laps this race left to go. With most being Vettel, though, we've got the same engine in our car, and I'm sure Ferrari probably keeps something back from Alfa Romeo. I mean, we only have an engine partnership deal, and of course Giovinazzi as well to actually get his engines as well. So, although technically partnership, we only get the engines and Giovinazzi for this year. Running out a bit like this because these tyres now are starting to go off a little bit. Because with our car having a lot worse aero than that Ferrari, we're going to be wearing our tyres a lot more, even if the tyre weight isn't all notably too high. I don't think I've actually made a corner yet without running off the track. But somehow, though, I've not actually got a track limits warning yet, so definitely seems it's not quicker to go off where I am. You've got Vettel though with the DRS now on the back of us. Is he going to be close enough to try and make a move coming down now into this next braking zone? Is he going to actually pull out? He's going to go to the inside now. Going down now into the corner with the DRS still going to keep his side side still with the German. Going to try and outbrake him now into the hairpin. Going to try and keep his side still with Sebastian Vettel. Actually has it cleared us. I can't see us there. Actually here we come now. Still going to keep his side. Going to force Vettel there over to the inside line. Going to force him to take a very, very tight line. Compromises his entry, and then he's actually going to try and street there around the outside line. Then of Sebastian Vettel going to squeeze down there next to get very, very aggressive with the 5-time champion. That's going to put Haryanto then right onto the back of him. And that's the fight then for the final points place. And right in the back, they actually got Cole and Herter as well. I think they're in the house, either way, it's one of them. That's coming now right into play as well. And that, like I said, them going on the medium to start with, at the soft at the end of the race, now is bringing them now right into play. And it's gone now with the DRS though on the back of Arianto. I mean, they're all just DRS training off the back of me. And going now then into turn 1, he's not quite close enough there to make a move. And honestly, he needs to get past those next straight. That is his only remaining opportunity, really. But now then, through turn 4, we managed to pull away a little bit with how much they're battling behind us. And we managed to actually pull a little bit of a gap there on Sebastian Vettel. So something is definitely ailing that car. Honestly, I'm thinking it might be a gearbox issue because he's losing a lot. On the straight line, he's not too bad. So maybe it's one of the lower gears he's missing. And then through the higher gears, he doesn't, through the second part of the lap, he didn't really go that low. So once again, something is going wrong with a Ferrari car of Sebastian Vettel. I mean, Leclerc's had these fair share of bad luck as well, but someone who's had the good luck though is Mick Schumacher, who wins the Russian Grand Prix, and that is absolutely dominant once again. Well, I say absolutely. He's got, I mean, Leclerc kept him honest there, right up behind the back of him, but apart from setting the fastest lap, that's all he managed to do to challenge. Now we're coming down the back straight now, going up now then into the final heavy braking zone on this circuit, and we've got ourselves ahead there of Sebastian Vettel. Though we're only a half second down, so we've had some good time on the final lap, just using what the car has left available to us. Now, I mean, we've got this final sector left to go. We're going to get this braking zone right. Yes, we do. Don't run out wide this time. It is an off-camber corner. If you run out wide there, Vettel could once again have stuck his nose in up the inside line. And Vettel there's managed to keep himself ahead then of Arianto. He's kept himself ahead there of Colton Herter. And actually, Jean-Eric Verne as well. He was so far behind us like 5-6 laps ago, but he's brought himself back into play with how much we're going slow we are. And over the line. What is that? P11, I'm pretty sure that's where we were. We didn't get any more places, I don't think so. P11 from P18 for being last for like the first 4 or 5 laps of this race. That is definitely a good recovery. But once again, Williams reigned victorious here on the Sochi Autodrome around the 2014 Winter Olympic Park. And Mick Schumacher takes his 4th victory, or was that his 5th in 7 races? Either way, it's a lot of wins in the races that we've had so far. Once again, he's really just stamping his claim already on this championship with the 3rd of the season gone. Now we have Nico Kari in P16, which is a bit disappointing, honestly, for him from where he started. Taking a look at the end results, and Schumi would take the victory and the fastest lap. 7.3 seconds clear of actually Lewis Hamilton in 2nd place, so that car behind wasn't actually Charles Leclerc in the end. And we got Robbie Kubica, who could guess his first podium of the season then. In P3, with Charles Leclerc down in 4th place, so he really dropped it at the end. So, who was that car that we saw behind Schumi then? So, if it wasn't a Ferrari, it looked like a Ferrari to me. Clearly it wasn't, so it probably was then Hamilton. We got Max Verstappen. Another good result, all things considered, really, in 5th place, ahead then of George Russell and Kobayashi. Down in P8, he had an absolute mare, 38 seconds off of the win. And that is not where you want him to be at his home race. Honestly, that is the worst result of the season, for when he's actually finished the race as well. So, 2 bad races in a row then for Kvyat. Actually, no, it's not 2 bad races in a row, because Singapore was okay, but the Azerbaijan was the DNF. Ducati then in 9th place, ahead then of Matsushita in his final race for now. And with ourselves then in 11th place, and Sebastian Vettel rounds off the point scorers. Arianto finishes in 13th place. Ahead then of Colin Herter by 0.4 of a second. And we have Jean-Eric Verne in 15th place, who finished right behind us on the road, but isn't there in the time, so he must have had like a 5-second time penalty for something. You have Nico Kari, as we saw, in 16th place. With Stroll then in 17th, with Albon P18, Hulkenberg in 19th, couldn't recover after that damage. Our teammate Giovinazzi stone dead last, so something was definitely wrong with the Ferrari of Vettel and our teammate Gio's Alfa Romeo as well. Moving on now to the drivers' point standings, and Mick Schumacher, unsurprisingly, increases his championship lead now back up to 9 points over Lewis Hamilton. The Hamiltons are further than 30 points ahead then of Danny Kvyat. After his poor result, he's now only 12 points clear of Charles Leclerc, and he's only 20 points ahead then of his teammate George Russell. Ricky Biss is starting to bring himself now back into things now, in 6th place on 48 points, 6 points clear of Kobayashi. And Max Verstappen manages to get himself then back ahead of us now, because as we finish back down to earth where we should normally be finishing. But we've still got a little bit of a gap though over Pierre Gasly, actually quite, I think, at 15 points. But since Gasly's in a front running car, that 15 points shouldn't last too long, really. Vettel then drops down now to 11th place, 1 point behind the Frenchman. Hulkenberg running off the top 12 on 14 points. His teammate Verne's in 30th, 1 point behind on 11. With Matsushita also joins then with the Frenchman. And Haryanto is in P15 on 8 points, 2 points clear of Herta and Kari. Norris in 18th on 5. Albon 19th with 1, leaving only Gio and Stroll as the 2 still on 0 points. Finally now moving on to the constructor standings, and Williams lead by 15 points over Toyota, with Mercedes in third, 20 points off the Japanese outfit. And they're quite the way ahead of Ferrari in fourth, who are then 20 points now clear of Red Bull in P5. And Alfa Romeo still lead best of the rest, and we've got 8 points over Renault. They're only now 1 point ahead then of McLaren, with Toro Rosso in 9th, 1 point clear then of Haas. Going to vote for your driver of the day with the poll link that will be in the video description. Also leave a like if you enjoyed this video, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you're new and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the future videos. Remember to give me a follow on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, they'll be linked down below in the description of this video. So also check out the wiki for this season as well, which will be in the description, so if you want to look at all the news for this season, past seasons, maybe even sneak peeks what's coming up in the future as well, all the past teams, all the past drivers and all that. Also, if you got this game on PC, then you can download the mod deliveries that I use. That will be the BWT livery on the Toyota, or the Force India as it actually is, or the actually Racing Point as it actually is. Everyone still calls it Force India anyway. And you've got the Merc 125 years livery, the Wide Bikes Haas livery, and the S2V Esports livery on my Alfa Romeo. They will be linked down below in the description. If you got this game on PC and want to get them downloaded using myself. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.